Legal fees can add up fast, but did you know you actually have some control over how fast they add up? Hey, I'm Jenny Bradley with Triangle Smart Divorce, and we're located outside Raleigh, North Carolina. I'm going to give you some quick tips on how you can help have control over your legal fees if you're going through a divorce or separation. Want to waste thousands of dollars getting divorced? Then start by hiding the truth from your lawyers. Seriously, if we don't know what's going on in the case, we can't help you pick the right strategy. We don't know what documents to ask for. We don't know how to deal with maybe the good, the bad, the ugly. So if you want to save money, you've got to be transparent with us. We need to know what's going on. If we find out halfway through the case or even a quarter of the way through the case that there's something out there that could affect you, we could have addressed it earlier on and now we're on the defense. So if you want to save a lot of money, be transparent with your lawyer. Tell us everything. We're not here to judge. We're here to help you get the best result. Want to keep your legal fees lower? Start by getting your documents organized. If you're going through a separation or divorce, we're going to need a lot of documents from you. In some cases, more than others. But the bottom line is there's hardly a divorce that we don't need a document in. And we're not asking these for fun. We're not asking these for sport. And if you have a lawsuit, the court actually requires a lot of these documents. And so some ways we've seen people have what they would consider excessive legal fees is because our team spends time and money having to go through these documents and figure out what's missing, if pages are upside down, things are named incorrectly, etc. So here's just a few tips. Produce everything at once. When you send things in a piecemeal fashion, then your legal team is constantly going in and seeing what they got, what they don't have, what they're still missing, etc. So if you send it all at one time, that's really helpful. And if you can't do it for all the documents we ask for, at least send all the bank statements for your one account at one time instead of sending us February one time and then April another and then 2 years ago statement another time. Look for missing pages. And please don't send us screenshots. We can't read them. They're very fuzzy. It's very difficult to get them admitted into court. Save yourself some legal fees by giving us what we asked for the first time, because after all, that helps you present a clear and convincing case when you're in court. Now, another thing you could do is use a consistent naming system. For instance, maybe say 2025 July blah 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 statement instead of one of them saying 2025 July blah 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 statement and another one saying July 2025 blah 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 statement and another one saying 7.25 blah 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 statement. If you use something consistent, that helps us easily go through your documents and still see what's missing, and then we don't have to rename them so that it matches. One other thing you can do to help save some money in getting your documents organized is putting them all in one place so that you can easily then share a link with us or easily upload it to our system for us to be able to go through it, as opposed to sending multiple emails. And frankly, I don't know about you, but lately I've been wondering about the security of email sometimes, and I don't know if I want to send all my financial documents across the email with many notices I've been getting about phishing expeditions and spam and stolen passwords and other things along those lines. It's much more secure if you use our system to send us the documents. Okay, those are my tips, just a few of them. We also have a resource we can give you on this to help you get more organized. And even if you decide later, you know what, divorce and separation aren't for me, this is going to help you later in life if you're applying for a loan, if you have to do a FAFSA form for a kid, you're getting your taxes together. Being organized with your documents is going to cause you a lot less headache in the future. Rapid firing emails like you send text messages to your friends can cost you more legal fees than you think. And here's why. Because lawyers traditionally work on billable hours. So when they stop one project and they go to another project, they're billing you traditionally in tenths of an hour. That's 6-minute intervals. So if you send them one email at 2 in the morning and they respond at 7 in the morning, that's a 0.1. You send them another email at 10 o'clock in the morning, they respond later that day at 3 o'clock, that's a 0.1. But if you had added those emails together and sent them in one batch and the lawyer responded one time to you, that would have been a 0.1, because odds are most of your really quick hitter questions are taking less than 6 minutes to answer. So this is just another strategy and tip for you to help you save money. Batch your communications. Either consider, or maybe do both of these, but you could send one email once a week to your lawyer with bullet points of your questions so that they're easily identifiable and your lawyer can go through them and answer them. Or you could call the legal team and set up a time to talk to the lawyer, because a lot of times, at least I find in my communications, email doesn't allow for a dialogue. It's just like text messaging. Assumptions are made, tone is read into it, words are filled in when maybe somebody typed quickly and left something out. People jump to assumptions, like I said. It's not a dialogue, so you continue to email back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. I call that email Olympics because it's exhausting. If you call and make a phone call, if you have a lot of questions, then you can easily get better answers and you can ask follow-up questions all at one time. So that's a way to keep your fees down and frankly have better communication about your cases. Now I know every once in a while there's just a quick question like, hey, I want to know, can I move this money or not move this money? And that seems like a quick question to you, but that could have really severe consequences in your case. So sure, you can send that email if you want, but remember, it might be better to have a conversation about it so you can understand what your lawyer's thinking and how the strategy fits into your overall case. Okay, now another thing is use your paralegals. And that is one of the things I think people forget about is there's a lot of questions you have about your case, the status of your case, the progress in your case, a lot of other things that the paralegal can answer at a less billable rate. So batch your emails, but also remember to copy your paralegal on the email so that they don't go unattended in the lawyer's inbox for 3 days while they're in trial with someone else. And I know you're thinking, why can't the lawyer get back to me? Well, trust me, if you're the client that lawyer is in court with for 3 straight days, one of the last things you want to see is your lawyer over at counsel table responding to emails when they should be focusing on your case. Don't pay your attorney to stuff envelopes and lick stamps. Seriously. Okay, nobody probably licks stamps anymore. We all do peel and stick. But you get my point. Lawyers are paid to give you strategy, to represent you in court, to represent you in negotiation, to draft documents and help you reach resolution in your divorce and separation. They're not paid to schedule phone calls. But if you're working with a smaller team, or maybe even a solo lawyer, that person's answering the phone, answering the calendar, setting their own calendar, and doing other things. And maybe you're paying for that. So it can feel like it's cheaper to go with a smaller firm. But you don't get all the benefits you have at a larger firm, where people are really specialized in what they do. Paralegals are incredibly good with logistics, gathering documents, helping you put things together, helping you get organized if you need help with that, making court dates. They just can't argue in court for you, but they can help with everything along the way. And they are incredibly cost effective and frankly, usually a lot more available than lawyers are. Because when lawyers are in court or mediation, they're in court or mediation with that client who deserves their attention that day, just like you do when it's your turn. So use the team, use the paralegals, and paralegals use legal assistants to help them. So when you work with a bigger firm, you have a whole host of people that can help you out and cover for each other when they're on vacation. If you're working with a firm that only has one lawyer, either that lawyer is never recharging their batteries and never able to take a real vacation, or you get the out of office that says, I'm on vacation and I'm not checking my email for two weeks because I'm on vacation, or 4 days, or however long their vacation is. And both of those I think are bad for you because either your lawyer's flatlining and exhausted, or you're being unattended for 2 weeks. Either one, not a good result for you. But when you work with a bigger firm, there's a team and we step in and cover vacations. We step in if there's something urgent going on while the other lawyer's in court. Paralegals cover for each other when they take vacations. We function together as a team. Even though you have a legal group assigned to you, the whole team steps in when it's necessary. And that's why I think that it's important that you have a team help you. Not only because the work can get pushed down, frankly, to the most qualified individual who cost you the less, but also because there's coverage in the event of vacations, holidays, sick time, or anything else going on in someone's life. We've been asked at least 1,000 times, how much is this going to cost me? And I get it. People want to know what a divorce and separation is going to cost. It's frankly part of what people want to know before they make the decision to leave. And some people had said it's cheaper to keep them than to leave them. And that's another video we have about the cost of doing nothing or the cost of staying somewhere where you're not being fulfilled. But instead of talking about that, I want to talk about retainers. I want to talk about the fact that we really can't tell you precisely how much something's going to cost and explain why. There's a lot of firms out there that will do a flat fee divorce. That could result in you overpaying. Why could that result in you overpaying? Well, say that you came in and you said, this is exactly what we want, and we just need a separation agreement, and we need a divorce, and we'll be on our merry way. And that law firm is a one-size-fits-all kind of option flat fee place, and they say, well, that'll be $10,000. How would you feel if you knew that it only took 5 hours for your lawyer to draft everything and get it all done? Would you think that was a fair price? We bill by the hour, and we think that that is a more fair way to do it because you're actually billed for the work that's being done in your case, not some number that someone made up based upon what they think is profitable. And frankly, some number that, in my opinion, encourages speed over strategy. Why do I think that? Well, because I hate to be harsh about the human condition, but most people, if they knew they were getting $10,000 for delivering X result, are going to do it as quickly and as least expensively on their side with as least effort as possible because they want to get the most bang for their buck. They want to make the most profit on that $10,000. Whereas those folks would say, we're over here running up the bill because we want to continue to charge you and make you do all these things you don't need to do so that we make more money. Well, I mean, who are you going to believe? Someone who's presenting you a thorough workup of your case? Someone has reviewed your documents, who has prepared spreadsheets, who has sat down with you and provided you options? Or somebody that asked you 20 questions, put it in their standard form and spit it out and said, this is it, and if you want to go to mediation, that's going to cost you more. So I need you to understand that there are obviously incentives and disincentives to flat fees versus retainers. But what I can tell you is at our firm, we give retainer money back. We do an estimate of how much cases are going to cost roughly between the first 30 to 60 days, and we look at it every 30 days thereafter. And sometimes the case resolves in mediation and there's money left over and we give it back. Sometimes we have to ask for more money because we need more documents, we need to go to trial, we need to do more things, and sometimes we're asking you to put more money in the trust account. But at the end of the day, you're going to get a bill, not even at the end of the day, twice a month. You're going to get a bill that's going to tell you exactly what happened in your case so that you know. You're not just going to get a one-time invoice that says flat fee, separation agreement, $10,000. You're going to know that the lawyer talked to your spouse or their lawyer. You're going to know that these documents were requested. You're going to know that these motions were filed. You're going to know what's going on, and you're going to have complete visibility and transparency into your case because we believe invoices should tell a story and show you what value you're getting for the work that's being done. And at the conclusion of your case, if there is money left over in trust, that goes back to you. We don't profit from it. We don't say this divorce should have cost us $25,000, but you didn't use all of our time, but so what? We're going to keep the money. That's not how it works with a retainer. That is how it works with a flat fee. So it's our belief that using the retainer system is the best way to hold each other accountable, to help you be efficient with your time and how you organize documents and send to us, but also to hold us accountable to be sure that we're providing the value for the money you pay for the hours that are worked in your case. Want to save thousands on your divorce and separation? Stay out of court. Most law firms are telling you this, but people aren't listening because they're watching what they see on TV. We're in North Carolina. You don't have to go to court to work out anything about your situation except for the divorce itself. A judge still has to grant that. And when I say that, I mean the piece of paper that says you're divorced. I don't mean the piece of paper that says this is how we're dividing assets, this is how we're dividing our money, this is how we're going to do custody of our children, this is how much support is going to be paid. I mean just the divorce certificate you have to go to court for. So, stay out of court. I know that's not easy for everyone, but let me tell you why it can save you money. It can save you money because There are much more legal documents required if you're in court. And what I mean by that is not only motions filed and notices of hearing and all kinds of legal mumbo jumbo, but also the financial documents that are required. The disclosure periods are much larger. There may be depositions involved. There may be many hearings along the way, and the whole process is terribly long. Our average separation that goes through the whole court system takes more than 2 years to get everything resolved. And the judge is the one resolving things when you go to court. That's right. The judge is going to decide who gets what, where the children live, who pays how much money to whom, if any. Those are the things the judge decides. But if you stay out of court, you have some control over what happens to your future. You're not putting it all in the hands of a stranger. So here at Triangle Smart Divorce, we're huge fans of mediation. But before you even get to mediation, you might be able to work it out amongst yourselves with the help of your lawyers. A lot of cases we settle before we go to mediation. But if there's a logjam, or maybe somebody's unrepresented on the other side, then mediation is a great alternative that we use in most all of our cases before going to court. And here's why. Because a skilled mediator who is a trained lawyer, at least those are the ones we use, can help guide both sides to resolutions that seem more win-win for each other and less adversarial. Because after all, why would you agree to something if you didn't think there was something in it for you? So that makes sense. The mediator listens and they ask questions and they figure out what's important and they figure out how can we resolve this case to keep these folks out of court. Because, maybe some lawyers will hate me for saying this, but the only people that win when you go to court are the lawyers. That's where law firms make the most money with litigation because it's very, very, very expensive and terribly inefficient and not cost effective. You can have mediation in one single day and resolve all the issues in your case. Whereas if you have a court suit, you're going to have these small little temporary hearings along the way and then later permanent hearings. You're going to have discovery conferences. You're going to have motions, you're going to have this, you're going to have that, and it's going to take, like I said, more than 24 months to resolve everything. But in one single day, you can pay a mediator and you can sit down with your lawyer and the mediator while the mediator goes back and forth between two rooms exchanging offers and knock everything out. And then you just have to pay lawyers to draft the final documents so that your settlement sticks and it's enforceable in court. So yes, I'm a lawyer here saying stay out of court. I know, it flies in the face of everything we see in Hollywood. But really, that's why it is in Hollywood. Because it's for drama and it's for emotions and it tells a narrative over a whole movie or a miniseries or anything else. And you don't want that in your life. You want less drama. You want to spend less money. You want to have some money when you get to the other side of your divorce. And you want to protect your assets and you want to protect your children. How can you do that if you throw all that to the hands of a stranger? Your money matters. You worked hard for it, and we get that. Our job is to smartly help you save money while not compromising strategy in your separation and divorce. Our team is very skilled at cost-effective ways to help you get to the other side. Give us a call.